This will be our first mock draft. So it's kind of like a pre-mock draft to the summer scouting. Last time we had a good month under our belt worth of summer scouting before we did our way too early mock. We're doing a way too early mock this time around, the top of the draft. So the expectation here is that the Saints aren't going to be very good. At any rate, they're picking first overall. What direction do we go in here with the Saints?
Tank for Arch, bro.
Archie Manning. I like it. I'm okay with it.
That's an easy selection, bro.
So Arch Manning to the Saints. All right. Looks like Cleveland is up. Got 2 top 10 picks. Based on what they've done this past draft, 2025, there's a question mark in terms of, okay, do I go back to the well as far as quarterback is concerned? Do you think Shador has done enough to prove himself at this point? What would you do if you're the Browns?
No, we're not going quarterback, bro. No,
we're not doing it.
Our assumption is that Shador going to be the guy. So quarterback is not, to me, an option for them here at this roster.
I don't know, bro.
What you thinking? You think quarterback, Juice?
Best case scenario that Shador is the guy. I think he's the most talented player at the quarterback position on that roster. We could be looking at a different coaching staff, a different GM from now. All I'm acknowledging is that I don't know that that's going to be the case. Even if Shador acquits himself well, if they got 2 picks in the top 10, that means they didn't have very much success. So despite the flashes, because we're not going to get a full 16 games, full 17 games from Shador. That's not going to happen, right? So let's say we see him for a month. Is that enough? Is that enough to say, okay, we're not going to take a quarterback with one of these 2 top 10 picks? I don't know. That's my only point on that. I'm okay with going in a different direction for the purposes of this mock draft, but I do think a quarterback, in all likelihood, if they got 2 top 10 picks, they're going to take a quarterback with one of these picks, bro.
At this position, we could get one of the best players in the draft in the Caleb Downs. I know it's the safety position. I know it's not in vogue, but Caleb Downs is probably a top 3 player in this entire class. So he'll be an option, but if you want to go to a position of need, I think the tackle position is a big need here in Cleveland. That offensive line dealt with a lot of injuries. My OT1 is Spencer Fanu. From Utah, the right tackle. I know there's a Proctor Hive. I know you bought from Miami. He's a good football player as well. But how Fano moves and his ability to get to the second level, it's reminiscent of the other boy, man, from Detroit, Penei Sewell. It's very reminiscent of his game. So I'm fine either Downs or Fano.
I'm good with Downs. I can push back on Fano, bro, a little bit. Just a little bit.
Push back on him. We'll go with Downs here. But push back on Fano.
So, what I got Ranu on my notes. I don't know why.
Ranu. That's probably why you got the wrong notes.
That's why you down on him, bro. You got the wrong guy.
You look at that Ranu.
It's one big note, and I think it might be his only problem. He's an absorber, bro. Okay, when it comes to pass protection, and for me, he doesn't get his punch out, and it's like he's waiting for the defensive lineman to make their move so he can make his move. In the meantime, he's dropping back too far, bro, and he's giving up too much, right? If you can fix that one little issue, if you can say, hey, I need you to drop your anchor. This is your spot, and I need you to get your hands out. He's the guy, right? But if we can't fix that, that's a problem for me, bro. That's not something I saw consistently, but it's a concern of mine. In terms of who's looking to punish people, I think he's excellent, bro, and Headley's correct. Both of the offensive linemen for Utah, the boys can move, bro. Both of them can move, bro. So I would agree with that.
Yeah, Lomu, Caleb Lomu, Spencer Fanu. Fanu is the right tackle. And you're right. Run blocking, I think he's at the top of the class, the best run blocker in the class. It's the pass blocking, I think, needs a little work. Get engaged a little longer. Like that grip strength. I want his grip strength to get stronger. And sometimes he'll overset, and then that speed to power can get him in the passing game.
Tennessee up next. All right. So seemingly not enough around Cam.
See, if you want to put some more around Cam, I just don't know if I have a receiver this high in this class. Last couple of years, the receiver position was really stacked. This year, I don't know. Some people love Jordan Tyson from Arizona State. But I think it's just a little too early for wide receiver, in my opinion, here at 3.
It's hard to go wrong with pass rushers.
Yeah,
right?
Pass rusher. Yeah. We talked about David Bailey. Might be a little too early for him, but I think he's going to work his way up the board. To me, the best defensive lineman in the entire class, edge or an interior, is Peter Woods from Clemson.
Yeah.
Now this guy is Christian Wilkins all over again. Physical, quick twitch, get after quarterback. I know a lot of people love TJ Parker. That's the edge, but I think Peter Woods is the best football player on the defensive line.
Thinking about adding good football players, what you're looking at up front is Peter Woods, Jeffrey Simmons, and Devondre Sweat. That's a handful.
That's a lot.
That's a handful. Bro. That's a handful. I think you could certainly make the case to prioritize more of an edge rusher.
Yeah.
But I'm not opposed to Peter Woods here. So
they do need to prioritize more edge.
Yeah, we can go Bailey. I'm good with it, bro. Let's lock him up.
All right, we're gonna look at this a year later. Say CPG trying to tell them.
Nah, chill.
Yes,
chill,
we
chill,
are.
chill.
We are going to look at it this time next year. All right, David Bailey to the Tennessee Titans. The Giants. Yeah, this wouldn't be ideal. That was my whole question mark with the Jackson Dart situation. I don't think you want to play Jackson Dart right away, right? But do you have enough cachet as GM, head coach? Hopefully you can catch lightning in a bottle with either Russ or Jameis Winston for a year and kind of bridge the gap. But I wonder what it's going to look like. So, again, question becomes, all right, I'm picking 4th overall. Is Dart my guy? Is Dart my guy?
Got to be.
Or am I picking a quarterback? He's got to be, right?
You don't have to be. Don't have to be.
You got to be.
You don't have a choice.
I suppose. I've seen.
And you traded up for him.
Yeah, you did.
Like, I know you're going to talk about Josh Rosen, maybe?
Josh Rosen, Kyler Murray. I've seen it happen before. Stranger things, It's not just the fact that you haven't necessarily had a lot of success. It's the fact that you got a new brain trust in place now. That wasn't my guy. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just one of those things you have to consider. But otherwise, what would you do here with the Giants, 4th overall?
If you're not going quarterback, Headley, would you go with your right tackle? Oh no, did we go to right tackle? We didn't go to right tackle yet, did we?
No.
Would you go with him here?
Yeah. They're moving Evan Neal inside to guard. Yeah, Luminor is a solid football player, so I don't know. Might just go be responsible, bro. Let's go back to Drew's original thought, man. Let's go with Fano at the right tackle. Be responsible.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Spencer Fano it is. Got the Jets this time around. Didn't catch lightning in the bottle with Justin Fields. Do you go quarterback here? Do you go ahead and start the clock on a rookie QB?
Yeah.
I hope it works out.
Yeah.
I hope it works out too, man. That's why I didn't want to go there with it. But like you said, you're picking at 5.
Yeah, you're picking at 5. It didn't work.
Yeah, it might need a quarterback. Yeah, it didn't work.
Yeah.
Drew.
Yeah, Drew.
That's where you going,
right.
Drew Aller?
That's where I'm going. Drew's going with Drew, bro.
Let's go. I'm with it.
All right, Drew Aller it is. Ooh, Bryce. That ain't gonna cut it, Bryce.
I mean, Bryce is out of there, bro.
That ain't gonna cut it, Bryce.
Bryce is gone, bro.
They're gonna continue to struggle defensively. I know that. I don't think one draft class, this particular draft class, although I like what they've done, is going to be enough to get that defense to a point where I think they're competing for the division. But I would expect them to be in the teens. I would expect this team to be in the teens, assuming Bryce Young builds on the way he finished last year and the additions that they've made. So I think through that prism, and I'm fully on board with Bryce. In fact, I feel like Bryce got hurt, bro.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Even that may work against him, right? Being a smaller QB, you know what I'm saying? Like you're getting to the point where you gotta think about paying him. You know what I mean? Like it almost seems like you're compelled based on where they're at in the draft to select a quarterback.
I know that's what it's saying, man, but I'm not with it, man. I'm going Peter Woods here. I'm going Peter Woods, man.
Well, I mean, that's another way to look at it, right? We're thinking that, this defense still isn't where it needs to be. Now you drop Peter Woods next to Derek Brown, flanked by Princely and Scorton. So, I don't hate it. Let's go with Peter Woods. Let's go with Peter Woods. Bro. All right. Bryce was lighting it up, and then, freak accident, and, who knows? So Peter Woods.
Probably dropping 30 a game, bro, and the defense is line 35.
Just can't. Exactly. There you have it. There you have it. All right. We got the Las Vegas Raiders up next.
Them boys need a receiver, bro.
I heard your boy Dante Thornton is lighting it up right now at camp for these boys.
They got your boy Jack Besh. What you mean? They need
Besh
a
a good player.
receiver. Jack Besh.
They need another one, but I see Jacoby Myers, and
Jacoby solid though. Jacoby solid. I understand what you're saying. I don't get the sense that they have that alpha at the receiver position, but they got Brock Bowers, bro. They have Brock Bowers.
And which receiver would you get this?
The top two guys, Antonio Williams or Jordan Tyson. I probably go Antonio Williams.
I love Tyson's game. I do
like Tyson. I like him.
I like Denzel Boston's game. I like Carnell Tate's game. They need a corner.
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest. I was going to suggest corner.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of McCoy.
It's the guy at the top. It's the top.
But he's coming off an injury. Like, I'm not sure how much football he's going to play this year. I think he got hurt to the middle of last season. And I like Terrell too. Those are probably my top two corners on this list.
I like DJ McKinney from Colorado. First couple seconds at the beginning of the snap, bro. That boy on you, bro.
Yeah.
Boy, nice.
Respect of the McCoy injury, I'm probably leaning towards Terrell. He's another player I like, and I got to confirm I might stamp him. I like Chandler Rivers a lot, bro.
Oh, he's solid. I watched him.
Yeah, he's gonna be a good pro, bro. I don't know if he's gonna be a star, but he's just gonna be a real good pro, bro.
Yeah, that movement ability, man.
Yeah,
it's clicking close. Chandler Rivers,
and he challenges everything, bro.
Fight through blocks, through screens.
Yes, bro. I like a DB who's consistently in phase and challenging at the catch point, bro. There's no gimmies with Rivers.
And he got really good ball skills too. I think they probably gonna kick him inside though because of the size.
Yeah.
But he could play that. A lot of the best receivers are playing inside the slot. So you got Terrell. You going Terrell?
Yeah, let's go Terrell. Let's go Terrell. Avion Terrell to the Raiders. Indy quarterback, right? Got to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's big in this high, yeah. The way they be talking about AR,
bro. Try it again. You're going to try it again with Lenore Sellis? You're going to try it again?
That's
your guy.
I would. Let's do it, bro.
I would. Lenore Sellis. We're going to try it again.
Call him Goggles,
all
bro.
right.
Let's go.
Okay, so we went Caleb Downs, second overall. We just felt like, too good of a football player to pass up. Drew, poo-pooed Spencer. Of course, Spencer went with like one pick later or 2 picks later. Still do think the offensive line is a question mark here. You guys are convinced that we don't go quarterback here. Prioritize the O-line. Yes.
So this is going to be an interesting debate here. I think there's going to be a debate, all the way up to the draft about Proctor or Mayoga. Francis, bro. I think he's a better prospect than Proctor. I know Proctor has the size, athleticism thing going for him. But it's technique over potential, man. We always said, especially in the offensive line position, bro. Like let me see your technique. Let me see what you're doing, play in and play out. I don't want to, kind of guess on you and project you at such an important position. Proctor can be an all-pro at tackle one day, but as of right now, Mayago is the better football player.
So I'm gonna push back, bro. Okay, all right, because what is it? It's Francis Mayoga.
Mm-hmm.
I say that right? Okay,
we're gonna work on it. We're gonna work on it.
Francis Mayoga. Is that right?
More or less. Yeah.
More or less. You close, man. You getting close, bro.
I hate to say this because he's probably more than this. I didn't watch a ton of Miami, bro, but there's a lot of short sets, bro, and like nobody
no verticals
challenged. No one forced him to like actually drop back, bro. Like
because he a beast, bro.
No, bro.
Like, he a beast.
He wants to see what the first movement is from the defender before he does anything, bro. It's almost like I'm just waiting for you. You make your move, I'll make my move. You make your move, I'll make my move.
You don't like the counter puncher? You don't like the counter puncher?
Bro, it's beautiful. It's just and the sets are more horizontal than there are vertical. So if I want to press him,
you want to see what he deals with the 9.
Yes,
that's what you want to see. What he does with the 9.
I can't see it, and no one's forcing him to do it. So he's just, okay, this is what you're gonna give me. No problem. I got you. You're not getting around me. Like, it's real boring. And it's a little infuriating because I'm like, how does defenses not realize what he's trying to do? Like, you're not even gonna press him, push him. You're not gonna force him to do something different. Nope. We're just gonna let him do his thing, and our guy gets, hemmed up, right? So it's hard to evaluate him in totality of the position because of how Miami is playing him. But that's not his fault, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is what we're asking you to do, and he's doing it to perfection. So
I think there's definitely at some point the conversation is going to be, is he going to be a better guard because of the propensity to do a jump set, right? Just like Kelvin Banks. Don't overthink it, bro. Don't overthink
yeah,
it.
no, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I would
All right.
I would take him over Proctor.
Proctor.
Proctor got
Okay.
Proctor got concerns, bro, for sure.
All right. Two excellent prospects here for Cleveland. I know the question that we'll be answering this time next year will be, are they going to use one of these selections on the quarterback? I still maintain if they're making two selections in the top 10, they go on with a quarterback, bro. I don't know if it's going to be the same coach, the same, GM. I can't imagine that they're not going to select the quarterback with one of these picks. The Rams. So at 10, we're thinking maybe best player available for the Rams. Is that what we're thinking?
I thought they could have got a corner in last year's the draft that just passed, and they didn't. So
okay,
I think that's still a need for them. But best player available,
Anthony Hill Jr.
Yeah, that's a beast right there.
That's a beast, bro.
Looking at Rob Havenstein also, he's getting a little older.
We got 2 ones.
I love Anthony Hill, bro. I love that name.
Let's do it. Anthony Hill.
Let's do it. I'm good with it.
Out of Texas. I think now you're looking at Anthony Hill and our boy from Ole Miss potentially here at the second level.
Chris Paul.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right. We got the Finns on the clock.
So they definitely need a corner.
This team is hurting for defensive backs. No doubt about it.
Let's go grab the boy from Tennessee then.
All right.
McCoy.
Bob McCoy. All right. Now New England is up. Okay. New England, we're getting a little better.
Yeah,
big fourth overall last year. They get better here. Okay, so what's the next step? What's the next step to get this team going? We need to bolster this pass rush. I think Vrabel like a Ruben Bain. I'll just put that physical. Out there. Physical.
Yeah, he is physical.
We got TJ Parker. Or you got Kildrick Falk.
I'm a big fan of Falk. But Ruben Bain. I like it.
Perkins. Okay, let's go Ruben Bain here to New England. All right, Mr. C, who you like? I know we had talked about that tackle position, right? So
yeah, Proctor would be a good spot here.
Proctor would be a good spot.
Parker or CJ Allen? Mr. C practice saying defense. Give me defense.
Defense.
Give me defense.
Parker or CJ Allen?
CJ, that's what I'm talking about, Mr. C.
Let me see.
Let's go get him Parker.
TJ Parker. All right.
Parker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do him a solid here. All right, TJ Parker to Seattle. All right, Dana's Cardinals.
They still saying corner and receiver is in need. I don't know if the corner thing is true.
We got him a receiver.
I like the corner position.
Yeah.
Receiver's not too bad, but I think now if you want a receiver, I think now it's more palatable, right?
Yeah.
I know there was a concerted effort to bolster the D line. Do we have enough edge rush? Josh Sweat, BJ Ojulari.
They brought in Baron Browning too.
Baron Browning, another good one. I think Cardinals defense is going to make some noise this year.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think Mr. C. Presley said keep Tyson in state. Don't let him go.
I do like wide receiver for them.
Okay.
Go receiver.
Get another weapon.
Yeah.
All right. Jordan Tyson it is. Keep him in state. Good call, Mr. C. All right. Pittsburgh. A quarterback.
Say Nussback. I think Tomlin can calm him down, bro. Get him right, bro. How's the O-line over there? O-line strong over there?
It should be. It should be. It's a talented group. They got to come together. They're young, but it's a talented group. You cool with the Nussmeier here, Headley?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
All right. Garrett Nussmeier. All right. Dallas. What does Dallas need? Dallas need what did they do? They went and got Booker, so they're rebuilding the offensive line. I thought they did a good job. They got Ezraku, and then they got
Siobhan
Ravel. Then they got
Yeah,
Ravel. Okay.
Yeah, they did great.
Okay.
Hey, can we go get him Jeremiah Love?
Hey, I looked at the name. Haven't figured out that receiver opposite CD yet, though.
Yeah, they got George Pickens.
Yeah, I know they got it for Pickens. I know, bro. But you gonna pay Pickens? Are you gonna pay him, bro?
Oh man, they got Kyrie Elam starting for Cowboys, bro. That's a typo over here.
Nah, that's not good. I've been saying for a while that Dallas needs to address the cornerback position. I think they did with Ravel, though. CJ Allen might be, or maybe a Falk. Add some size.
I'm a big fan of Falk.
Add some size to this team.
Ooh, I think I might go
lighter at edge with Ezraku and Parsons. I like CJ Allen. I'm thinking about the linebackers. I think they brought in Kenneth Murray.
They did.
They got Lufau from Notre Dame. Overshown is coming off the injury.
They did draft.
I like CJ Allen more than all them guys. I like
Jack Sanborn.
Let's grab a CJ Allen.
Let's do it.
All right, CJ Allen.
I think Deontay Lawson gonna overtake him by the end of the season. But
you think so? You think we were high on Lawson too. So that wouldn't shock me. I know the Bears need a safety. I don't know if I would go with Thieneman just yet. Is it Jeremiah Love time?
Oh yeah.
Oof.
I like Jeremiah Love here. This is kind of an infinity zone type of deal. The only other thing I would say maybe is offensive tackle. I'm not sure if Braxton Jones will be back long term.
Is this the Proctor pick? Is that what you're saying?
I could make a case for Proctor.
Yeah, let's go get Proctor. Let's go responsible. Yeah.
So let's assume Braxton Jones isn't back and Caden Proctor is now your left tackle. All right, Minnesota.
Going back to the well of the corner.
Let's see. In the corner.
DJ McKinney is the pick for me here because AJ Harris, I need more work on him.
Okay. You're not ready to go there yet.
Yeah. Malik Muhammad, he to me, bro. When I watch him, bro, he just be out there playing, and he be playing like an athlete, bro. Like he's not necessarily playing the position of corner as he should be playing corner, bro. So
you're right. You hit the nail on the head.
Bro, you can't play the position like that, bro. You're gonna get beat more often than not. So he got work to do. I'm not familiar with Chandler Rivers, but y'all say he's on
Rivers.
Check out Rivers. Check out Rivers. Igbenogson, I think, has a shot to climb.
Oh, yeah, Ohio State. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Oh, and there's Christian Gray too now. I forgot about Christian Gray.
Notre Dame.
He's too low. So pick one of these.
Listen. You want to make the case for McKinney, and I'm not gonna go as far as say it's gonna be a Darryl Porter situation, but I'm not as familiar with McKinney.
Yeah, I'm more familiar with Harris and those boys. Big fan of Harris's game for Penn State. And then who's the other guy at the top of the set? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Muhammad. Oh, Chandler Rivers. I like his game too. So
I like Chandler Rivers a lot.
Let's go Rivers,
the guy
bro.
I like. Let's do it. You want to do it?
Nah,
unless Drew said McKinney though.
Save Rivers. Save Rivers.
Are we saving Rivers? I would actually go. Yeah, save Rivers. I'd actually go Christian Gray here. I think he fits that.
Are you gonna throw a whole new guy in the mix?
Yeah, bro. A whole new guy, bro. They got him lower than he should be, bro.
I'm a big fan of his too.
Okay.
I think he's the real deal, bro.
All right. Mrs. C mentioned Takario Davis and Prusak as well.
No, he wouldn't fit this scheme, I don't think.
Okay. You want some man coverage out here. That makes sense. That makes sense from a Christian Gray perspective. All right, let's go Christian Gray. Houston. Saying we can use tackle. Yeah, so of course they traded away your boy. They brought some other guys in. They're not, no long-term deals or anything like that. Not huge investments there, but I think they might have something figured out. I think they could be in a position where they're having to address the offensive line again, though. I really do.
Yeah, if you go offensive line, it's got to be Lomu. If you're going tackle, because I looked at Isaiah World, I like him, but I don't think I think Lomu.
Yeah, World's a little raw right now. I think you have a little transition from where he came from, coming into the Big Ten in Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I like Lomu over him.
Okay, let's go Lomu here to Houston. Drew, what do you do with the Bucks? 20th overall. Like,
His
where you
name?
going, Deontay? Or Perkins? You going Perkins or you going Perkins?
Man, well, who am I getting? Am I getting Perkins or am I getting Perk? Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Who am I getting, bro?
So you wanted to talk about Harold Perkins' brother.
I wrote in there. I think he's the most intriguing prospect in the class. Just
I agree.
6'1", 215. Like where do you play him?
It didn't click that he was that small because I'm watching him. Like I said, the first thing I noticed is he plays the run really well. It's because he has leverage. So it didn't like click at that moment until I finished my notes. I was like, man, let me go back and see how big this dude is. Like, a guy probably worst case scenario 225, maybe about 6'3". Nah, I got him at 6'1", 210. I'm like, bruh, how is that possible, bro? Because he don't play like that, man. 10.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, an interception. He closes really, really quickly. I know Ole Miss had a bunch of, stars out there, bro, but he stood out. Not going to miss him, bro. He doesn't really miss tackles. He does use pace in his pass rush. He's able to get up in the offensive lineman's chest because of that leverage. He plays the RPOs really well. Sometimes he might get a little over-aggressive, a little impatient because he's trying to make a play. Like Headley said, man, he's intriguing, one, because of his size and his ability to produce at that size. Just don't know what that looks like, in the league right now. But he's gonna have to add weight, bro. There's no scenario where he can't play at that size. Since we didn't get Campbell last year, let's go with Deontay Lawson, man. Let's say because Campbell did what we thought Lawson was gonna do, and let's just assume Lawson is gonna do what we thought Lawson was gonna do last year.
Denver up.
Yeah, Denny, you might be right. He's probably gonna grow a little bit more, I would hope.
Do you add a receiver? Do you add more to that young, hungry defense? Kendrick Falk is still out there. Caleb Banks, Christian Miller. I think that might be a little high for my blood. I'm a big
Falk got to get off the board soon.
Yeah,
that boy's a beast. I don't know, not right here. Let me see. Denver has Zach Allen, Franklin Myers. They did draft Savion Jones as well. Like, their defense is legit, man. So maybe go get a wide receiver for these boys. I know you're a fan of Williams, but I like Tate and Boston. A player I thought about when I was watching them. You know how the comps go all crazy and stuff. He's not this guy, but I saw some Reggie Wayne in his game, man, when I was watching him, bro. Okay. He just knows how to get open.
Right, smooth
run really good routes. His hands are really good. I know he had a big drop in one of those games, but he usually catches everything, and it's just a route running, man, and being able to get open, knowing when to sit down in zones. Yeah, he's very polished. Tate's very polished. Yeah.
All right, maybe you talk me into it.
Okay.
All right. He might have to come back and defend that one. The Chargers. Say front seven then.
I think a down lineman.
Down lineman. All right.
Falk.
Yeah, it's got to be Falk.
Yeah, there it is. Oh, man, we're overthinking it. There you go.
All right.
Andrew Falk.
I got the Packers on the clock here. So they just parted way with Jair.
I'm saying, bro.
Chandler Rivers. I think they may already have some nickel types, though.
Javon Bullard.
You know where I want to go, DJ McKinney.
Let's go McKinney.
Let's go McKinney. Because I like Harris. I don't love Harris though. I'm not a fan of Muhammad. I'm more of a fan of Rivers, probably over Harris and Muhammad. And Kilgore, he always gets his hand on the football. Fan of his as well. Will Lee's a physical corner.
Yeah, I want to keep an eye on Will Lee. I want to keep an eye on Will Lee. Damani,
got the size.
Mario. It's some interesting names down here. There really are some interesting names. But let's do one for Drew right here, DJ McKinney.
Yeah, you're going to have to talk about that next year, Drew.
Yeah, talk about it. San Fran on the clock.
Hopefully he don't Daryl Porter me, bro. That's my Daryl Porter.
All right. What you thinking here for San Francisco?
Are we going Tad? Did they draft? I think they drafted his replacement, didn't they? Trent Williams.
No, they went heavy on the defensive line.
Interior O-line. Reed Adams is a player.
Reed Adams. The law firm.
Okay. Reed Adams.
All right, let's do it. All right, Cincy.
We're going interior offensive line. No, I'm just playing. They let go of Pratt. Is there a second level straight? They let go of Pratt. They're good.
Well, they drafted your boy from South Carolina, and
Demetrius
they
Knight.
drafted
That's
Demetrius
right.
Knight and Barrett Carter. They drafted
That's
Barrett Carter too. I like down line or corner, bro.
Defensive tackle.
Caleb Banks, bro.
Did they sign Trey Hendrickson?
Caleb Banks.
No.
They still talking about trading him, bro.
Yeah, we might need to go there, bro, because they messing around with your boy contract right now. I like Danny Dennis Sutton for these boys.
All right, let's go Dennis Sutton.
I go back to edge.
Yep.
Yeah, because I don't think Trey Hendrickson's gonna be there.
All right, linebacker. We're gonna grab one of the Perkins boys.
They need a. I don't know that way they would fit for this team because they need a. I think it's an inside linebacker they need.
Yeah, Bobby Wagner again. Oh, I know we fans of Jordan McGee.
Yeah,
hey, this guy's still out here too.
Let's do that.
Jeremiah Love. Yep.
Give him a little bit more juice in the back.
All right, Rams back on the clock. Anthony Hill Jr. 10th overall, and now maybe the corner or the Havenstein replacement. What you thinking? Did you go get a Klubnik to replace Stafford?
Yeah,
let's get the quarterback, bro. Yeah. You're right there for the taking.
All right, let's do it. All right, don't have to thrust him into an immediate role. Buffalo on the clock. Actually, I want one of the Perkins boys. I want one of them.
Yeah, they need a different kind of
either one of them or Caleb Banks. Playmakers on defense, bro. Let's go Harold Perkins right here. Slaughter. Yep. Slaughter to replace Ragnow here in the middle. All right. Baltimore on the clock.
So I think it's Banks or Overton. I think those two.
I'm thinking there's a decision that has to be made in terms of paying Van Noy. He's an older player. They did draft Mike Green, your boy from Michigan, who dealt with the injury. So his contract is coming to an end. So they could probably use another edge, bro. Edge.
Your physical edge in Overton.
Okay.
You got your boy DJU brother. He's an intriguing prospect.
He is intriguing. Let's go with him, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. Mateo.
Yeah. Let's go with Mateo.
Not
Matai. Be clear.
All right. Two more selections here. We got KC and we got Philly. This team's stat, bro. I'm telling you right now, they stat.
They probably draft Rivers, bro. Is probably what they would do.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
Honest. Yeah. That's probably what they would do.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would draft him, bro.
All right, and I vote for Banks right here to Philly.
Let's go,
Caleb, lock him in.
Excellent hands.
Woo! Here, all right, make our way through so we can obviously review this time next year. Arch Manning at the top, right? Is there Arch to New Orleans? I think that'd be a perfect scenario for the whole connection, the Archie connection, so on and so forth. I do think this team will be in the market for a quarterback next year. Caleb Downs, too good to pass up, 2nd overall. David Bailey, he's edge number 1 until further notice here at Copper Taylor General Manager Spencer Fano. To the Giants, we think maybe kicking Illuminor inside or letting him walk. We'll see how it works out with Evan Neal ultimately. Drew Aller to the Jets. Again, if we're thinking of the Jets are drafting 5th overall, it didn't work out with the incumbents here. Peter Woods to continue to bolster this Carolina Panthers defense. The scenario here is that Bryce was lighting it up, right? He's averaging 28, 30 points a game, but the defense is giving up 32, 34, all right? And, wins and losses, so on and so forth. And Bryce missed a week because he was sick. You know what I mean? That's the scenario here, all right? The Raiders are cornerback needy, so we went with Avian Terrell because, some question marks with respect to injuries with some of the other guys, consistency. We go from Richardson to Sellers. So some might say, okay, this is kind of a similar skill set. I just think the question marks that you have for either player are a little different here. When you think about, experience, when you think about accuracy and so on and so forth, I think it's a little bit different here. So Colts going back to the well with the dual threat quarterback. We got Francis Maiola. That's how I'm gonna go with the pronunciation right now. Maiola.
You didn't pronounce the G, bro. It's a G there.
No, I didn't. I don't recall. So we'll work on it. The Browns. If you take a look at the Browns' offensive line on paper, it looks really good, but they've struggled to stay healthy, and I think a lot of those contracts are set to expire after this year. So trying to get that tackle position situated. Anthony Hill just too good to pass up. Linebacker has been kind of a question mark. You had Ernest Jones, you moved off of Ernest Jones. It's a bit of a question mark, right? It seems to be one of those one or two positions that we think the Rams need to solidify here to make another run at it. Jermar McCoy, again, perhaps the first corner off the board. Big need for the Dolphins, assuming he was healthy. But very good player in his own right. Ruben Bain, I think just the physical nature, the ability to play as an edge on rundowns and then reduce down on obvious passing situations would work well here for what Mike Vrabel wants to do. Mississippi Praski wanted to go down line as well with TJ Parker. So we made that happen, continue to bolster that defense. Kept Jordan Tyson, receiver from Arizona State, first receiver off the board within the state of Arizona, going to Dana's Cardinals. Aaron Rodgers is the oldest player in the league. He's literally the oldest player in the league. So they're in the middle of the pack. They are ended up 8-8, 8-9, 9-8, whatever the case may be, and ultimately missed the playoffs. So Garrett Nussmeier is now your trigger man here in Pittsburgh. CJ Allen to Dallas. Some names, some interesting names, but you're dealing with injuries, you're dealing with inconsistency. Some guys on some one-year deals. Really like CJ Allen. That's a stamp of mine as far as 2026 NFL draft prospects. Caden Proctor. We thought about Jeremiah Love right here. That actually would have worked out really nicely, but we are anticipating Braxton Jones. He enters free agency test markets and actually nets a pretty lucrative payday. So replacing him with Caden Proctor. Christian Gray. Drew banged on the table for Christian Gray because of just the amount of man coverage Al Golden has those DB playing, and they're playing it with good technique out there at Notre Dame. So we think he fits well in with Brian Flores' defense. Caleb Lomu to solidify an offensive line that struggled this past year, right? I think they have some stopgap measures that they've put in. Obviously, trading away Tunsil. Don't think that they effectively think Tunsil's best years are behind him, right? I just don't know that they have the right pieces in place along that offensive line just yet. I think that's reflected here in the Texans picking 19th overall. So Caleb Lomu to the Texans. Drew made the executive decision here with the Bucs. Deontay Lawson, obviously a need there at the second level of the defense. It's a question. I think that's what we're going to be looking at, right? Who's going to be the top off-ball linebacker to come off the board? CJ Allen, Deontay Lawson. What we expected of Deontay Lawson this past year is his teammate. Now with the Philadelphia Eagles, has kind of eclipsed him, but Deontay Lawson's a very good player. Headley insisted on Carnell Tate, right? I heard a Reggie Wayne comparison. Mm-hmm. That's impressive company right there. I do think the Broncos can round out the receiving core. I think between the incumbents that they have, if they can add another receiver who can be reliable, give you kind of a high-end 2, I think they'd be in really good shape. Kildrick Falk to the Bolts, to the Chargers here, really to bolster that defense, become more stout and physical up front. Drew, the vaunted, it was a Green Bay, wasn't it? We had Porter going to Green Bay, didn't we?
I think so, bro.
Yeah.
I think so.
All right, so we had Daryl Porter going to Green Bay the last time we did one of these. Now we got DJ McKinney. I'm listen. I'm throwing my lot in with you on this one, Drew. Hopefully we get this one right because Porter was a big miss. But certainly with Jair Alexander no longer in tow, they need to replenish the secondary. We got Reed Adams, a tier offensive lineman out of Texas A&M to the Niners. The Niners have to replenish the offensive line, right? They made a concerted effort to rebuild the down line on the defensive side of the ball in the 2025 draft. Here we are prioritizing the offensive line in 2026. We're not sure what the Bengals are doing, right, in terms of their roster creation or foundation, right? They're trying to lowball players who are playing at a high level, and then of course you swing, kind of high risk, high reward with your first round pick this year, but then you're haggling over, little aspects of the it's just I don't know that it's good business. So seemingly we're concerned that we won't necessarily have enough edge rushers because your boy is still there. Miles Murphy is still there. So Dennis Sutton was the pick. Jeremiah Love falls into the laps of the Commanders. I think that works out really well. That explosiveness paired with Jaden Daniels is going to be a tough act to defend for opposing defenses. The Rams had 2 first-round selections. So Cade Klubnik with the second of 2 first-round picks. Matthew Stafford, getting up there. You're going to push your 40 soon. You know what I'm saying? So we're kind of just thinking about the future. You have the luxury of the 2 first-round picks, so that made sense. Looking for playmakers on the defensive side of the ball here for Buffalo. Not necessarily sure exactly how we're going to deploy him, but we know that he can make plays. A healthy Harold Perkins. So easy add here to Buffalo to kind of help defend some of those explosive offenses, Baltimore, Kansas City. Jake Slaughter, interior offensive lineman, the center, the pivot here to replace Frank Ragnow. A little bit of a surprise here with him retiring, still playing at a high level. Mateo Mulele out of Oregon. You guys mentioned he's an intriguing prospect. Who did we opt for instead of? It was Overton. I think it was Overton. So different body types, different types of players. Looking for a little bit more juice here. So Mateo was a selection. Ellie and I are big proponents of Chandler Rivers. I don't know if he's going to go in the first round. I don't know if he's going to go in the first round, but He's going to be a really good football player. I think he's going to play in the NFL for a long time at a high level as one of those nickels, the Kenny Moore types. You know what I'm saying? If you want to think about a younger player, Jalen Petrie, I think he has that kind of upside as far as I'm concerned. And then Caleb Banks, just too talented. The Eagles in the catbird seat, just always replenishing their pass rush rotation.
Mhm.
Caleb Banks is he got star power as far as I'm concerned. He's got star power. So there you have it. Our way too early 2026 NFL mock draft.